If you ever wondered a little bit about how a lumberyard operates, or if you own a lumberyard and you're tired of those outdated, inefficient systems, we're about to show you some technology that can help you get that done in a much better way. Arnold Lumber has been a partner of New England builders and homeowners for over 100 years. Our goal is to elevate projects to their highest potential through top quality product solutions and above and beyond service on all projects from start to finish. Now, we're teaming up with industry leaders and the area's best builders to give you insights on the latest material technologies, best practices, and unique projects. This is Breaking Ground. In the last episode of Breaking Ground, we showed you how our friends from Epicor help us get a product from the quoting stage to the job site. Today we're going to take a deeper dive into how Epicor helps Arnold Lumber manage and drive our business. Let's take a look. Matt, as a COO, there's a lot of moving parts to running the lumberyard, and there's so much data with all the products and all the different aspects of it. Can you tell us just a little bit about how you utilize BizTrack to control all of that information so you can run your day-to-day?
The biggest thing is there's so much information that's being captured in BizTrack. With the right tool set, you can extract whatever you want to see whenever you want to see it. So every morning I get a sales report that shows the sales per location, what was actually delivered, what was actually taken out as a will call, which is really nice to then be able to see where we may need to add additional support. It also outlines what our gross profit margins were. Although it's still reactionary, it allows us in almost real time to be able to catch some things that typically we wouldn't be able to. I think one of the nice things about the system, it makes it very, very easy for somebody to go in and extract information out. And you can find things very quickly. You can find sales orders or purchase orders, and it really puts that information at your fingertips to best service the customer.
You know, Jim, the lumber industry's been around forever and people have been operating them probably the same way for most of the time that the lumber industry's been in business. Can you tell us a little bit about the Epicor products and specifically WMS? What was the revelation that was we need something better to do this job of managing all this material?
It was that antiquated, the good old boy network, and everybody had their way of doing it, but luckily some computer guys came along and said, we need a barcode scanning. Barcode scanning had existed, but it just wasn't in the building products. So we partnered with Epicor, and our software is specifically designed for building products.
And until that,
it was all paperwork. It's still crazy because, I mean, with all of Epicor's customers, we're probably only have about 5 to 7% running WMS. So the majority of them are still doing it the same way they did it 30, 50 years ago.
And there may be some computer involvement, but it's still a lot of human counting, eyeballing, identification of products and so on. Epicor's WMS system helps us locate and track all the products in our yard. Let's take a quick look at the process of picking products and getting loaded onto the truck before delivery. We're ready to pull the order now.
Yep.
And what do we got up here on the screen? This is the actual order?
This is actually the order. It tells you the location where I have to go and the material that I have to pull and then the quantity that I have to pull.
Do you know how many items on this order yet?
It tells you in the gun, 1 of 1 or 1 of 6.
Got it.
It tells you how many that you're gonna need to pull, lines that you need to pull, and then quantity you need to pull at the same time.
So right now, for example, this is telling us to get what?
So it's telling us that we need 6
pieces of spruce.
6 pieces of spruce.
Okay. You're gonna jump on a truck, you'll get those 6, hit that. How do you know if there's still more on this order? Will the next thing automatically come up on the gun?
As soon as I scan it, if there's more on the order, as soon as I drop the 6 2x4s,
the next item will
come up in the gun.
You repeat that until everything's done.
And then when you get to the last one, it says last selected. So it automatically tells you that that's the last things that you're going to be picking.
So you know you're finished with that order.
So I know I'm finished with the order, and that's it.
All right, let's check it out. Let's hit the loader.
All right.
we're at the first pick. Here's the stock. I noticed you scan one of these labels at every location of every product.
Everything that we have has one of those tags.
So nothing is here that can leave here without getting one of those labels scanned.
In an order, you have to scan that. It'll tell you if you're in the right location or not.
So it won't let you be wrong.
It will not let you
All
be
right,
wrong.
that's cool. Good. So then what? You enter the amount you're taking out of here?
I enter 6 because I'm taking 6 of them.
Yep.
I hit enter, and then I have to scan a cart tag. Once it's on the cart tag.
What's a cart tag? That's like a location of where it's going, or?
So it's it's to track what material we have on that, what we're picking.
Okay.
So
all of the items essentially go into that, like a shopping cart.
pretty much.
We got the 6, you scanned it out of stock, and now this tag here is the shopping cart or the cart label. So you've got to scan this label
I have
next.
to scan this label.
All right, let's hit that. All right, now these 6 are in that cart,
In this cart.
and now you've got to go put them somewhere.
Yes, I have to wrap them up and then I have to put them somewhere.
Will the place that you put them reference this cart tag?
Yes.
Got it. All right, let's go put them down. Okay. We'll get the next bit.
All right.
All right, so the 6 studs are put away up there. How does it know that it's on that shelf when someone needs to come get it?
So we have more tags like we scanned before, and you scan that and it'll automatically tell the system that those 6 boards are at that location.
So one of the scans is leaving, that was the white tag. The next tag is coming in, scan that pink tag right there, and that's temporary. They're gonna sit here.
Yes.
And what do we call this phase of the
Staging.
staging area? So these boards on that cart, all the items in that cart will be staged right there. The system knows that's where they are. So if it's later on this afternoon that they need to get loaded on a truck and you're not the one doing it, someone can go into
Somebody
WMS.
can go into WMS and they know that those 6 boards are at that location.
They'll be able to come right here, get it. They're not going to go looking for them, or well, it was supposed to be here.
Exactly. So what they'll do is they'll come over and they'll scan the cart tag,
Yeah,
and then they'll scan that cart tag to the truck,
the whole cart.
the whole cart.
Got it. Everything that's in that cart now is on the truck. Those 6 boards really are all we need for this cart for that one order. Now, they're going to get on a truck, and they may be on a truck with a few other carts
Exactly.
going to other destinations. So this order's done. Now, you're ready for the next order?
Yes.
And you know what to go get and pull?
Yep.
Do you need to go back in the office
Absolutely
and get?
not. It's already in the gun.
All right, so this right now on WMS system, on this gun tells you, okay, this order's done, let's go build the next order.
Yes.
You ready to go get that then?
Yep.
Let's start that one. What are the obvious, the easy, low-hanging fruit areas of why WMS is a smart decision for anybody that's running a lumberyard?
The cycle counting is kind of the big one because, I mean, if you get your inventory accurate, then you're more likely to pick things accurately, to get them delivered to the customer more accurately. And a lot of times people are they'll look in BizTrack and they'll say, hey, you know, I've got 100 out in the yard, but they don't know that might be in 10 different locations. With WMS, we're tracking it down to, hey, this location has 10, this other location has 15, this other, and we're tracking the quantity to that location every time.
Versus what?
Versus just an overall, well, we counted 99 out of 100, well, we're really good. Okay, well, we're counting, well, one of your locations was bad, but the other 9 were good. So we're really narrowing it down. With paper system, when you get a low quantity on hand, you don't really trust it. Typically, customers say, well, I have to go out to the yard and make sure I have it. Customers like Arnold Lumber, if it gets down to 1, they tell the customer, hey, it'll be on the truck for you in an hour. They trust it. They know it's going to be accurate.
So, Adam, we're hearing a few times today about cycle counts, and it seems like it's important in any lumberyard business. Can you just give us an example of utilizing WMS as it relates to cycle count?
Sure. So we get a random assignment of locations every week. It's approximately 10% of the locations in the storeroom. It sends us through, we scan the location. It prompts us for the product we're counting to verify that it's there.
All right.
And then we put in a count. So we'll go through and we'll count this. And I'll input my count here. and I got it right, so this location is correct and we can move on to the next one, keep going through the
So
process.
really, it's an inventory auditing system.
It's
is all
absolutely
it
inventory, yeah. When we're using WMS, it's the right product, the right place, the right quantity, and that's something we're constantly working toward.
And this
100%.
gets rid of those shut down the business inventory,
Yep,
physical
perpetual
inventories you gotta
inventory, not really a need to do a physical, it's real time, which is really neat because I could be counting this and somebody could be coming along and picking material, or vice versa, somebody could be picking material and I come along and count behind them, and we're seconds apart. It's completely accurate no matter who's in first place there.
All right, so while the team is busy picking the products to get loaded onto the trucks, let's take a look inside and see how this technology helps Nick keep the yard running smoothly. There's a lot going on out there in the yard, and stuff's
sure is.
happening, coming in, going out. It's going from stock to staging, from staging to truck. What are some of the things that are important to you that you keep an eye on the dashboard when you're working in WMS to help you run the business?
Absolutely. My day is in Route Master usually all day. I have it scheduled out between not picked and picked.
I would imagine if you're heavy on the not picks, you need to
I got to get
things
some guys
going.
into
Yeah.
different zones for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, so I'll click into the days and then I can go into storerooms. These are all our storerooms, whether it's the sheetrock building, pressure treated, framing, the engineered aisle, AZAC, decking. It's all with the numbers. And then the not picked is the red.
Now, being picked at the moment means that somebody's got that order open,
In their gun, physically picking
working on it, so
working
you
on it,
know
ready
it's
to go.
happening live.
Live right now.
So
yep.
this is in some stage of being removed from stock and put to another
Yep.
location.
This click view doesn't run all the time. I have to constantly reload this thing.
So that is fresh and live. At any minute of any day, if you really need to get an accurate look, you could just get refresh and you have, here we are as of this minute.
Yep. I reload this thing probably 100 times a day. Easily. Easy 100 times I'm reloading this. Yeah,
So looking at this right now, what are you thinking about you need to do based on what you
I'm
see up
thinking
there?
that it's actually not too bad right now. Just seeing, I have 2 guys per zone, so it's relatively
So
manageable
looking
for
at
the
this,
guys
you're saying,
right
okay,
now.
we're in pretty decent shape.
We're in good shape, absolutely.
Before WMS, there must have been a lot of running around to track down and see what's going on and
Yeah,
looking
absolutely.
at pieces of paper on
Absolutely.
clipboards and
Yep.
trying to figure out where you're at and what the status is of how your day is shaping up, where now you got it right in a snapshot, live time.
Yep.
With so many moving parts, data is critical to paying attention to where our trucks are at any given point on the multiple deliveries we have every day, to the general data that's involved in how our teams are performing. Let's go inside and talk to the team to learn a little bit more about how these pieces of data help us stay on track. Just real quick, talking us through with all we're looking at here, which seems to be a bit of a mission control system. In the morning, we got a bunch of trucks we need to load up and get out of here. So what's the process from what happens in the morning, and then based on that, how do you work through what happens throughout the rest of the day as far as getting all these trucks to the job sites?
Well, so I start out in the morning. My board usually looks like this. It's a bunch of green squares.
What's the system that tracks what stage the truck is in?
So we have Geotab, which is the map with all the trucks on it. And once it leaves, we have this little, we call the geo fence. Once it breaks this, it actually puts the truck into on the road in progress.
Got it. So when that truck pulls out and breaks that invisible fence, it changes status and it's now out for delivery.
Correct.
How do you know when it's delivered?
So we have it come back through the invisible geofence. And when that happens, it closes out the journey. My preferred color, I have it as purple, but it can be anything you want.
So now it's back in the yard, and the assumption is that truck is empty because it made all its deliveries.
Correct.
And it can then be slated to be reloaded again. What's the silver on your screen here?
This is my in progress. Usually it's yellow, but I like to pick gray. That means it's out on the road currently in progress in that journey doing the deliveries.
So I can see, we can tell where all the trucks are looking at the screens. Suppose somebody said, hey, I need something delivered today. I just ran out of such and such and you need to get it out. You still use the same system and track that same day delivery as well, or do you just give someone a box of nails and
Oh, no.
throw it on a truck?
Get the order, and once I get the order, I am already trying to figure out what route it fits on, and then I place it in that route and I keep track of it just as any other deliveries that we
You
have.
can just tell by where everybody's about to be going or coming from what the best one is to put it on.
Yes.
Does that include returns, pickups?
Yes.
Do you schedule those, or are those sometimes, hey, by the way, on your way back, can you grab this stuff?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Most of the time we try to schedule them, but we do get the occasional, hey, we have a customer that really needs this picked up. Can you pick this up? And I will work it into the route with our deliveries.
Arnold Lumber has 4 locations, so trucks come and go from different locations as well. Are you able to tell where those trucks are too?
Yep, I actually control all the trucks for Arnold Lumber.
Every truck, no matter what yard it's leaving out of, you're the one
Correct.
making the decisions.
Yes.
It's a lot of power.
It's a lot of work.
I bet it is.
WMS does so much stuff, right? It's the key to your load building, it's the key to your receiving, it's the key to your inventory. If I log into ClickView, the first thing I'm looking at is it's going to give you alerts. It's going to let you know anything that's sort of out of whack. If we had a lost unit, we don't, but if we did, it would pop up here. We would then click into that, see what the lost unit is, send the team out, find out lost unit. Right here, it's telling us something staged that's causing shortage, so we can go look at this cart tag and see what that is. You can click over here in the receiving tab. Same thing with receiving. It's going to tell you how many lines to receive. We just got a bunch of kitchens in right now, so that's a lot higher than it normally would be. Cycle inventory adjustments. This will show you any inventory adjustments that the team is doing. And then you can get into productivity. You can really see what your team's productivity is. So this is all for all the load builders out there. Anybody who's done anything in the WMS function, and this is going to tell you all the functions, what they've done, at the rate at which they're doing it. How much they've done. So I'll just drill down into group select.
Okay.
So that would be pulling orders for customers. So if I drill down in here, bang, that shortens me up a little bit. I've got all my load builders here, including myself. I did something. You can break it down by how you want to be looking at the data. You want to do by how many lines they've pulled, how much weight they've pulled, what's the quantity, how many hours they're working in, the rate at which they pulled.
And this is all based on that individual's, wherever they're logged into, whatever gun they're using.
Yep.
So it's just the information coming out of that gun into WMS.
Right, it's how productive they are while they're in the function. So if you're in group select, it's only monitoring the amount of activity you have in group select, and it's how productive you are while you're in it. So if you were to cycle over and do something else, it's not going to capture, it's not going to bang you for that.
Outside the obvious, you do with this information. If you're looking at this, are you able to say, hey, I got a problem here? Or?
Oh yeah, yep. You definitely can. If you come over here, there's 2 tabs. There's Labor Management 1 and there's Labor Management 2. This will have every function in WMS here, and it's going to give you the productivity index. Red is below 100, and green is at or above 100. And that 100 is the standard that we've created as a team of what their productivity should be. The other nice thing is it captures how much time they're active in the gun. If an operator is working 45 hours a week and they're only in the function 21 hours a week, you're going to say, okay, well, what's
happening
the gap?
outside
Right.
those hours?
Exactly. What's the gap there? So it really captures that. Now there could be a lot of different things, right? I spend a lot of time cleaning, or I spend a lot of time sweeping the warehouse, or I'm helping customers, or whatever it may be. And there are actually ways within WMS to capture all that data. Then Labor Management 2, this is a really nice productivity index that will give our average versus standards and track it on a trend line. So depending on how productive our team's being at any given time, you can break it down by year, you can break it down by month, you can break it down by day, week, whatever it may be. You can extrapolate a ton of data from what your team's doing within WMS.
You can identify problem areas or areas where we need some improvement, or is there just an inherent problem going on?
Right.
It'll flag it long before you might find out about it. Otherwise.
Perfect. And I'll give you a quick example. So if I go into cycle count, right, and we look at 3 weeks of our cycle inventory, a trend that we've noticed is we continually see these 2 storerooms below where we want to be on cycle count accuracy. We were talking about, okay, well, what is it about those areas, right, that why we might be having accuracy problems there? One is it's the highest velocity area. It's like our 2-bys. That's what people are coming in for, that framing. Where they're buying a lot of it, we're building a lot of it, we're shipping a lot of it, so there's just a lot more turnover. Second of all, it's an area where customers are coming up and loading up the trucks, right? So is it that maybe we're miscounting as they're loading the truck, or the customers, miscounting as they're putting in? Nick and I took the time to say, okay, this is what we're going to change the way we focus our customer service. We're going to have a customer service person posted up in those dedicated areas at all times to make sure we're catching any discrepancies that we
And
might
being
see.
accurate with what's going on.
Exactly. So making sure that we're greeting and getting every customer, making sure we're scanning out properly, making sure we're accurate when we're loading.
Really help you narrow down where a problem might have happened and get to the solution faster.
There's also good coaching and follow-up. So when there is a mistake made, we use these tools to help improve, and it makes them better. Team's done a fantastic job of
Yeah, they
embracing
sure
it.
have. It seems like there's a lot of sophistication to it. Even technology-wise, there's some stuff that you have to learn. I assume that when you're talking to folks about taking on WMS or other aspects of the Epicor services, that there may be a hesitancy for fear of a learning curve.
Everybody's scared of the unknown. It is a culture change, because WMS is a structured approach to doing warehousing. But realistically, I have yet to talk to an owner that says, I don't want to bring more structure into what I'm doing.
Right.
So it is, hey, getting your people all working, rowing the boat in the same direction. Because with paperwork, you can have 10 different guys picking orders, and they might be doing it 5 different ways, because, hey, everybody's got their own way. With WMS, management sets up, hey, I want my guys to do this step, this step, this step, and they have to follow it.
You're really cutting out a lot of waste, a lot of trips back and forth, a lot of looking around for something because you're not sure where it was put last. Just the efficiencies of people working in the yard are improved with the system.
Absolutely. And then you think about the updating of the office system. You're not turning in a piece of paper for somebody to key it into the system later. It's updating real time. So that's a huge saving. The other thing that I don't know if we've talked about is shipping accuracy. I mean, with WMS, our customers will reduce their shipping errors by 90% just because the system is doing all these checks for you. Whereas today, if I talk to a company and they say, well, we already got great shipping accuracy, usually double or triple checking all their orders to make sure. You don't have to do that with WMS. The system is checking every line they're doing to make sure they do it right. Going back to that inventory accuracy piece is you can bring in new hires. I mean, it's hard to get people to come into the industry and work these days, especially anybody with industry knowledge. But if your inventory is truly accurate, you can bring in a person off the street that knows how to drive a forklift. They can be picking orders in our industry that afternoon, because the gun's pretty easy, as you've probably seen.
Sure.
So go where it tells you, grab the quantity it tells you, and go to the next one. So onboarding new hires is much faster.
So it's helping with everything from delivery management, accuracy, profitability. From the marketing side of things, if we wanted to gather a list of all of our customers that we've ever done business with to run some type of email campaign, that information's there as well.
It is. In any system, the data is only as good as the data that you put in. And so we encourage our people to try and gather as much information from our customers as possible. We capture email addresses, we capture contacts within the different businesses and companies that we do business with, which then makes it very, very easy when we want to do a campaign, when we want to reach out to suppliers that we do business with. With a couple clicks of the button, you can have a report that gives you all that information to allow you to keep contact.
I think in the sales end of the environment as well, because we're able to see history of any given customer, we can pay attention to, boy, 3 years ago this customer was doing 3 times as much and has dwindled over what's been happening, what are these trends, how can we gain market share back? So,
or like the wallet share information that we started putting out to where, hey, this customer is buying windows from us, but not buying doors or not buying siding. And to see where that penetration actually is within our customer base, for us to be able to target and go after those customers to expand their wallet share.
if the data's in there and you wanted to gather it to make any kind of customer report that you are concerned about, you could pull it.
Absolutely.
If I'm playing devil's advocate, that there's some concern about investment sometimes. Okay, a change like this is going to cost me something, just from equipment and just from the service, but there must be a point where the payoff happens from efficiencies in your workforce to better accuracy in your inventory, less loss of product. Is there a trend that you see about when folks are able to?
Yeah, we actually, when we're talking to a company that's starting to look at WMS, we have them fill out a questionnaire. So we're using your data. And I've been doing this for 26, 27 years now. It's amazing that when you crunch the numbers, the typical return on investment is about 18 months, give or take a couple months either way.
You've made back what you would have lost in time or product.
Yeah, and it still astounds me. You talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, that can't be right. Well, I'm using your numbers, and you've talked to all your peers and they said that's what they got. But the other piece of it is, well, I have to write a check for that. Well, you're writing that check already. You're just used to it. So why not write a smaller check and have technology to help you with it?
Well, it is a really cool system. We appreciate you being out here today to walk us through it all.
Yeah, and we're very grateful for Arnold. I mean, you guys have been fantastic partners to Epicor. I mean, doing this, but allowing companies to come in and see your use of BizTrack, your use of WMS. You've been phenomenal partners for
Man,
Epicor.
it works. And when we see something that works, and when we find something that can help our industry continue to improve and advance, we're all about it. So
Yeah, we appreciate it.
glad to be there. Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Breaking Ground. By now, you know a little bit more about what it takes for Arnold Lumber to run the business that we run here. Thanks to our friends at Epicor for sponsoring this episode and for all the great technology that they provide us to help us run our business day in and day out. If you like what you saw, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And until next time, I'm Tom with Arnold Lumber. Thanks for watching Breaking Ground.